In this lesson, we're going to talk about how you can manage your client's cybersecurity risk together with your client. The clients often feel and think that because you provide them with IT services and some cybersecurity services, that you just have everything to do with their cybersecurity and information security stitched up and taken care of. And we know that that's not the way that it really is. So it often is said that cybersecurity is a shared responsibility model. It's something that both you and the client need to actively be involved in order to effectively manage that risk. And it's important to be able to have that conversation with a customer in a productive and effective way instead of having them push back and say that they don't want to do something and not understanding the real business value and being able to do that. So HighGround has lots of different points that we can use to manage the customer cybersecurity posture together with them in a collaborative way. So let's jump into the app and take a look at some of those features. So first of all, we're going to look at what the client does have and doesn't have. By being able to look at these different technologies and practices, which we'll come to in a moment, we're able to show the customer what they do have and what they're not currently doing. I take an example here of password management that the client does not do. We can automatically select a reason. For example, client doesn't want it, and we'll automatically generate an answer for you here, and then you can just edit this yourself. So we've said here that the client has said that they understand the benefits of this, but they've decided not to proceed at this time. So this is, on a very basic level, simple risk management with the client, for you to be able to put an answer in as to why they don't have it. And most of the time, the customer doesn't understand why they need it. That's why they rely on you as their MSP to tell them what they do and don't need. It's very common with a client to be able to say, look, you don't need to do penetration testing. What you need to be doing is vulnerability management. And that's something that you can excel and shine in sort of your knowledge of them, which they fully expect you to be able to do. So we don't have to take them through every single one of these technologies. What we can do is give them a very broad exposure to what they don't do today, what they don't do, and what you recommend that they do and don't do accordingly. And these are categorized, when there's more than one in a certain area, they're categorized like, for example, data loss prevention. There's a lot of things that go into data loss prevention. You can explain to the clients that this is about ensuring that they don't lose their data, that their data is not stolen. And this is a combination of things like encryption, mobile devices, data exfiltration, data destruction, VPN when they're working on the move, and control and access to files and control and access within applications. So we'll get a good idea of the way we're able to cover off lots and lots of different complex topics within relatively easy to understand ways. We'll also move here to the governance and resilience section, and we'll have a look at some of these other areas which often are the areas that the client has to be responsible for. So for example, cyber incident response. You'll be able to show the client where they need an incident response plan, they need a procedure for their staff to invoke, we need to be reviewing that regularly, and we also need a crisis media management plan for how we're going to communicate with the media in the event of a cyber incident. The customer will naturally understand that these aren't things that you can be doing. And when you position it this way, the customer will see that they need to be taking involvement. Same thing with information security policies. Why do they need them? Which ones do they have and which ones don't they have? And all of this is contributing to their governance and resilience, which is their ability to identify, respond and recover from attacks, not simply in protecting themselves, which is the thing that most clients think that you already do. So the same thing goes down here for disaster recovery. It's all right having backups, but do we have a plan? And do we test that plan regularly? If we don't, then it's not likely that we'll be able to recover. Or if we do, we're not going to be recovering in any sort of recovery time objective that the client thinks, hey, we'll be back up in 3 or 4 hours. Actually, no, you won't be. It could be 2 or 3 days before you're back up. And you need to actively invest in writing plans, getting involved in business operations and testing those plans and spending money on that. It's not something that you currently do just under basic IT support or providing them with IT tools. Cyber insurance being another example of why should they carry cyber insurance. Aligning to frameworks, what frameworks do they need to align to? What is ISO 27001? Why would they need it? And why might they want to consider something like, say, CIS controls or NIS2 in Europe, or SOC 2 if they're a technology company, and so on and so forth. And the same thing goes for data privacy. And most MSPs are not involved in providing data privacy. That's something that most people tend to laugh at when you ask them the last time they audited their GDPR or their CCPA, because as we know, most of them don't do that. And customers will understand that that's something that they need to take responsibility for, and not just you. So we also have a governance and resilience module over here, and this is where we can actually upload and perform reviews. So we can upload plans, policies, perform incident response reviews, disaster recovery reviews, hold details about their insurance policies, and you can give your client a log on to this so they can participate in it. So if they want to upload their own policies, if they want to perform their own reviews, you can facilitate that whilst maintaining visibility over what they have and what they don't have, instead of sending them off on their way. Also provide free, ready-to-go information security policy packs, incident response plans, disaster recovery plans. So the client doesn't have to say that you're holding a gun to their head when you ask them to spend money on building these plans. You can give it to them and let them realise how much is involved in that and why you charge for it, which is much more likely for them to be able to justify spending money on you doing it, instead of just assuming that you'll provide them something and that it's going to work. We also have a number of technical data points as well. So if we have a look here, we can see real device issues. This comes in from your integrations, and we can show clients you've got these devices that are of a certain age, the warranty is expired if we have the warranty data, when they go end of life and why they need to be replacing them. And sometimes when you show that this computer has, it's 9 years old and it's got an old expired warranty, customers start to realise in very simple terms that these are not good things. And the same thing with user issues. So we can show users that have MFA turned off, if they have any risky sign-in detections as well. And this comes from the Microsoft Azure. I know that you might already be using existing tools, but in a later lesson, we're going to show you the client report, where we can aggregate all of this data into a single report that the client can take away and understand. So as you can see, there's a lot involved in managing your client's cybersecurity risk on an ongoing basis. Many things that you can do, many things that you can show the client what they have and what they don't have, and give them that expert advice that they rely on you to be able to do, but also to be able to show them why they need to take an active role in managing their cybersecurity in this shared responsibility model, because you can't do it all for them.